So after you grow up with this question of who am I, then the question becomes, what do I want? And the question that I ask executives is, what does your soul desire? Now usually they've never been asked that. What do you mean, what does my soul desire? And I said, well listen, if I ask you what you want, you know, you want a stadium full of money. I know what you want. You know, you want stuff, you want prestige, you want status. I want to get below that. What do you long for? What does your heart desire? And what I say is, what is this thing inside you, this core identity, this enduring piece of you? What does your soul desire? We can't choose the life we really want unless we get in touch with that really intrinsic side of ourselves. There's only one way that I know. This is how I help people. I say, unplug, listen, and ask. To get there, there is one thing you need to do. And that is to get comfortable with silence. Over time, not over a long time, over time, if you'll unplug, listen, and ask, your soul will talk to you. For most people, silence is terrifying. I'm a surfer, and I always run into people who want to surf. But most of the people stay pretty close to the shore. They only play in the shallow water. The big questions of your life, of who you are, what you really want, why it matters, is only found in the deep water. And you've got to paddle out to get to the deep water. The primary way you paddle out is to confront silence. To use the silence to give you the answers that you're really seeking. To create a space really where those answers come to you. Now, if you can get an idea of your dream, then you can begin to reverse engineer yourself, your life, your decisions, in order to get that. That's what we're talking about. What do I want for my lifestyle? What do I want for my career? What do I want in my relationships? Those are the three questions. This is the American dream, Thomas Jefferson style. Pursuit of happiness. There are three things that have to come together for your dream. Your lifestyle, your relationships, and your career. And to the extent that all those things are supported by each other, in other words, that the career I really want to have will produce the lifestyle I really want to live and foster the relationships that I most enjoy and treasure, life is great. It's called high life satisfaction. To the extent that the career I have takes me away from the relationships that I really enjoy and destroys any chance of living the lifestyle I really long to live right now, my life is nothing but stress. So as you think about your life, you have to think about all these things connected to one another. It's all about competing priorities. Now I want you to imagine that I'm standing in the middle of a basketball court. In front of me, there is a basket on that end and that end of the basketball court. And around my waist, there's a big rubber band. It's tied to that basket. And the goal I have of a great career is right in front of me. And so I start to dribble and I'm driving and I'm going. And what does my career want? Well, in my career, people want me to speak. They want me to write. They want me to show up and do stuff. They want me to sound important. So I am reading, I'm studying, I'm traveling, I'm on airplanes. I am going as hard as I can to that basket. But you know what's back there? It's called my family. Gosh, I want to have a life I value and enjoy. I want to have a family life. So what's back there? Well, it's my wife. It's my kids. So I go back to wrestle with this family. I want to spend time with my friends. I want to have a rich life that really brings me value. But wait. That's not all. I also have personal needs. I want to have passions. I want to have hobbies. I love to surf. The surf is only good when it's good. That's out here. So when it's good, I want to grab my board and run out there. I also want to work out. I want to eat right. I want to do all the things that will enrich my life. I want to have time to read novels. But wait, that's not enough. Also, I've got a spiritual life I want to have. I want to have time to think. I want to have time to contemplate. So I'm going back and forth. Now what should I do? Should I do my job? Should I be with my family? Should I be working on my own stuff? Should I be thinking and contemplating? What is it? So that's life. And that is not the American dream. That's life caught in a tangle of rubber bands, and where most of us end up is in this wild equilibrium in the middle with one band pulling us one way and one in another, where nothing is really optimized. What's the result? Overstress. So we lead the world in depression, lead the world in divorce statistics. And the insanity is all around us. What do? We listen to talk radio, we listen to news, we listen to sports. What does that do? That constant chatter, that yelling, makes us crazy. So when we get home, are we ready to connect with the kids? Let me read you a story. Let me be patient. Tell me about your day, honey. Society is not designed to produce happiness. There's been 500 studies in the last 3 years about what produces happiness. We know what produces happiness. It's about having low stress, low anxiety, and high life satisfaction. And there has to be a sense that your life means something to somebody and to you. One of my favorite clients famously yelled to me in a cell phone one day, I figured out what my dream is. It's to change the world and still be home for dinner. Then she clicked, hung up the phone. She'd found it. And you know, in a way, it expresses all our dreams. Gosh, if we could change the world and still delight in a personal life that was really meaningful to us, that would be sort of the ultimate pay dirt. So what is your dream lifestyle? This is what we know. Good lifestyles create positive emotions. Positive emotions mean optimism, hope, enthusiasm, zest, vitality, and an absence of stress. We also know that people who have lifestyles that they really love have time for passionate engagement. What do I mean by that? Is that each one of us have things that we just get intrinsic joy from. Maybe it's painting, maybe it's gardening, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's surfing. And what the research says is if you're not engaged in the passions of your life weekly, your vitality and zest for your lifestyle will wither. So the question then becomes, in terms of your lifestyle, is where you live, where you want to live. I'm even talking about the home or apartment that you live in. Ideally, it would be a refuge from the world and a source of peace. If where you live is not a source of joy, it bears rethinking. It's a key part of your lifestyle. Where you live in terms of a city or a community would be a place where you feel secure and stimulated. A place where you can afford, whether you own or whether you rent. Because you'll never have peace if you're living beyond your means. There are many people that I counseled who are young who say, I'll never get a house where I want it. So what are you going to do? I'm going to move to further than East Riverside, Desert, El Centro, something. Where are you going to work? Well, I'm going to work in San Diego. So that's great. That's about 100 miles you're going to drive every morning. Why are you going to do that? Because my dream is to own my home. No, owning a home is a goal. Your dream is to have a life. Where would you want to live? Wow, gosh, I'd love to live near the ocean. How could you do that? I'd have to rent. Do you know how many people in the whole history of the world have owned their own home? Not very many. Do you think all of them were really unhappy? Well, it's such a good investment and appreciation. Okay. Well, you can go buy that home on a dirt hill in the desert that nobody wants, that you can afford, and it'll appreciate enough to buy another home 10 years from now that is also in a place you don't really like. And you can live your whole life in places that you really didn't want to live in order to have an investment that may or may not pay off. So if you want to delay your life, that you can do, or you can live your life. There's a lot of ways to prepare for retirement besides owning a home. The latest research says the leading causes, the most stressful thing a person does every day is commute. And do you know that the 20% of Americans commute more than 90 minutes one way? And that is the fastest growing segment of the population? 3 hours a day. If that's what you really want, if you really want to live in El Centro, if you really want to live in the desert and drive 100 miles to work because your house is a good investment, if that's what your soul desires, then do it. But be sure that's what your soul desires. Don't do it because it's a good investment. Don't do it because the rest of society says you should be a homeowner. Do it because that's what the inner part of you really wants.
Life satisfaction is rapidly declining in America. Many of us commute for hours to an unfulfilling job, work late, and arrive back home after dark too exhausted to have a real life.
People ask me, what am I supposed to do? My answer is, follow Thomas Jefferson's challenge. Pursue your greatest life. Follow your genuine dreams. Make decisions that will give you a life of meaning, a life you're proud of, a life that's personally fulfilling.
The educational resources offered by the American Dream Project are designed to revolutionize your quality of life so you can pursue real happiness. You'll learn how to identify your unique personal dream and then put it into action. Our Dream Package includes a DVD of the Reclaiming Your American Dream television program, as well as the book Your Dreams on Fire. Laid out in a simple, easy-to-read format, the book will inspire you to take control of your life and your destiny. Our Promise Package adds 2 powerful seminars on DVD, and as a special free bonus, the Ignite Your Future 4-disc audio set. The What Is Your Promise seminar focuses on achieving a fulfilling career, whether you run a large organization or are just the CEO of your own life. The What Is Your Dream seminar will help you think differently about your dreams and will inspire you to make the changes that will lead to a better home, work, and personal life. Once you can understand your design and begin to express it in the way you live your life, you'll create new solutions and see new opportunities.
It's really up to each one of us. When we are pursuing our lives in ways that bring us the happiness we long for, the entire energy of our culture will change.
The 21st century American Revolution is underway and we need you. Bring your time, energy, and ideas. Join the American Dream Project. Order your Promise Package today and help shape an America we can all be proud of. For those of you who are clearly intent on discovering and living your dream life, our comprehensive roadmap package is for you. This package includes the Reclaiming Your American Dream television program, the Dreams on Fire book, as well as 2 seminars on DVD, plus the Personal Coach DVD and the complete roadmap to your dream life system. If you call now, as a special free bonus, you'll also receive the 4-disc Ignite Your Future audio set. The roadmap is a simple step-by-step process that will enable you to focus your design, your talents, your desires, and get you moving toward your unique dream. The 8 action guides will help you find answers to key questions in life, such as, how do I figure out my design? How do I identify my true desires and resolve competing ones? The Imagine Journal is written specifically to expand your thinking and ignite your imagination. The journal shows you how to evaluate opportunities and make the choices that will lead you to a life of greater happiness. The Personal Coach DVD is a fully searchable system covering 40 topics that address some of the most important questions of your life. It's like having a personal coach at your disposal anytime you need it. One of the great things about our roadmap package is that it gets to the core of what the American Dream Project is all about: giving.
If America is going to respond to the challenges that face us at every level, we've got to do something. That's why, with your help, the American Dream Project is going to put a complete set of its resource materials in every high school, community college, and university in America.
When you order our complete roadmap to your dream life package, you'll be donating the same program in your name to the high school, college, or university of your choice.
The students love the program. This emphasis on authenticity and values and passion. This program should go into every single university in this country.
Get on the road to your dream life and make a difference. Order your roadmap package today.
The big mistake we make when we begin to follow our dream is we mistake our dream for a goal. Our goals have changed 10 different ways, but our dreams came with us. We came equipped with our dream. We have a very hard time disconnecting a dream and our strategy to get the dream. So, I want to live a low-stress lifestyle. Where am I going to live the low-stress lifestyle? Maui! That's the only place for me. I want to move to Maui. Oh, thank you. You've given me the dream. Now I find out how much housing costs are on Maui. I find out what jobs are available on Maui. I found out that telecommuting from Maui is pretty tough. Oh! No dream. If I can't move to Maui, there's no dream. That's not my dream. My dream is to live a lifestyle that works for me. I might want to live in the sunshine. I might want to live in a place where there's nice, benign weather. But there's other places besides Maui that I can do that in. If you have your lifestyle and you're kind of clear on that, what kind of a career do you want? People who express real satisfaction in their careers say that it's a place where they can do what they do great. They get intrinsic enjoyment from their career. They love to go to work in the morning or the afternoon or the night or whenever they work. Now remember the origin of the American dream? Thomas Jefferson said, the pursuit of happiness. What's interesting about Thomas Jefferson's idea of the pursuit of happiness is back then when people came to America, the big chance for happiness was to get a farm. Today it's come full circle. The way to the American dream is the farm. But the farm is not the land, the farm is your mind. The farm is your life, your own personal life. This is what the 21st century generation really understands. You see, Gen 21ers are different. They want to do stuff that really interests them. They want to do stuff where they're going to learn a new skill. They want to have a career that's portable, that they can take from one company to another company until they can finally do their own thing. When my son graduated from college with a very useful degree in philosophy, he decided to do the next useful thing, which is get a job in a video game company. First he became a programmer, then he became an artist. He did all that for about 3 or 4 years. Now he works for the State Department. And I said, what is this career path about? And he said, well, Dad, I want to be at the front row of history. I really want to try to make a difference. What I really want to do is see if I can make the world a better place and keep us free from terrorism. That's what I really want to do. But you know what? I also really want to be in the video game industry. I just had to get that out of my system. I'm really glad I did. And now I don't need to do that anymore. You see what I mean? You see, I believe that we all have longings. I mean just superficial desires, longings. Things that we really want fulfilled. We need to listen to those longings. Life is long. Don't be afraid to live it in chapters. I think the fallacy that the American dream sort of results if you just work hard is based on this whole idea that the American dream is outside. The blind pursuit of all this outer stuff makes us need relief. And so the biggest relief is actually more stuff. So we get up in the morning. We drive an hour in traffic. We work and work and work. Why? So we can get stuff to consume. What are we consuming? We're consuming all the furniture that's home that we're not using while we're at work. Do you leave in the dark and get home in the dark? Do you eat at the drive-thru a lot? Is that the kind of life that your soul dreams and longs for? Or is the kind of life that McDonald's dreams and longs for you? I sleep in my bed. I don't have time to use the rest of the house. All I have time is to work to pay for the house I'm not using. Fact is, Americans work a lot more than the rest of the world, about 7 weeks more a year. Last year, there was $23 billion in paid vacation money not taken because people didn't take vacations. In other words, they earned the vacation time, but the culture of their organization was, anybody who really counts around here doesn't take a vacation. There are few workplaces today that promote workers taking vacations. Gen 21 is not going to stand for it. So I have my family, have my kids in boomer world. Just be patient, just be patient. We'll take a vacation eventually. You know, maybe we can have a vacation now that the kids are graduated from college, but it'll be a big vacation. We'll all go to Hawaii, stay at the Wailea. Whereas in Gen 21 world, you know, just a nice long weekend right now would be just fine. But I'll need to take Friday off. But not just this Friday. I'd also like to take a Friday off 6 weeks from now. People in the younger generation, they want flex time, vacation time, they want maternity leave. They want a life.
Life satisfaction is rapidly declining in America. Many of us commute for hours to an unfulfilling job, work late, and arrive back home after dark too exhausted to have a real life.
People ask me, what am I supposed to do? My answer is, follow Thomas Jefferson's challenge. Pursue your greatest life. Follow your genuine dreams. Make decisions that will give you a life of meaning, a life you're proud of, a life that's personally fulfilling.
The educational resources offered by the American Dream Project are designed to revolutionize your quality of life so you can pursue real happiness. You'll learn how to identify your unique personal dream and then put it into action. Our Dream Package includes a DVD of the Reclaiming Your American Dream television program, as well as the book Your Dreams on Fire. Laid out in a simple, easy-to-read format, the book will inspire you to take control of your life and your destiny. Our Promise Package adds 2 powerful seminars on DVD, and as a special free bonus, the Ignite Your Future 4-disc audio set. The What is Your Promise seminar focuses on achieving a fulfilling career, whether you run a large organization or are just the CEO of your own life. The What is Your Dream seminar will help you think differently about your dreams and will inspire you to make the changes that will lead to a better home, work, and personal life. Once you can understand your design and begin to express it in the way you live your life, you'll create new solutions and see new opportunities.
It's really up to each one of us. When we are pursuing our lives in ways that bring us the happiness we long for, the entire energy of our culture will change.
The 21st century American Revolution is underway and we need you. Bring your time, energy, and ideas. Join the American Dream Project. Order your Promise package today and help shape an America we can all be proud of. Corporate, political, and religious scandal, layoffs, stagnant wages, a tidal wave of debt. What's happened to the American dream? All of us can imagine a better, more thriving economy, greater opportunity, and a standard of life we want to pass on to our children. But no one out there is going to solve our nation's problems. Changing America for the better starts with you. Bring your time, energy, and ideas. Join the American Dream Project and help shape an America we can all be proud of.
There are 5 elements that really create places of work that feed our souls. I call them dream job requirements. When you're kind of looking at the place you work or the kind of work that you want to do, is there a community where there is respect for one another? Is there a culture of collaboration and teamwork? Is there what I call tribal joy? You should have a career that matters to others, that what you do has some impact for good, that makes the world a better place because what you're doing is distinctive. Because it's through that you know that you matter. Career's got to have meaning. It's got to offer growth, interest. It's got to engage your mind so that you want to grow, get new skills, become better, become more interested. Does your dream job give you opportunity? Is there strong future demand for what you're learning, for the skills that you're gaining? If you think there's no future in what you're learning, what you have to do today, it isn't a dream. Mobility. The question of mobility is this: can you do your job anywhere? I mean, could you live in almost any city, town, or place and do your job? That's the ultimate kind of career. If those 5 elements are present, you'll experience low stress, high reward. You'll experience having high energy, ease, and success. One of the big jobs of the future is what's called site-specific skilled work. That's work that if you get a skill has to be done at a certain place at a certain time. A great example would be an automobile technician. Today, automobile technicians that work on our high-tech automobiles that are mostly computers on wheels make anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 a year. In other words, if you work on Porsches or Mercedes or BMWs, you're probably going to be making 6 figures. And sometimes you can earn this if you start early enough by the time you're 30 years old. Learn what's needed. Certainly in the future, the only hope that we have, all the skills that we can ever gain today are going to be useless in 3, 4, 5 years because the world is changing so fast. So we all have to be hungry learners, thirsty learners, constant learners. Now let me just say something about high demand. If you are doing what you're really designed to do, if it's in your zone, there is always room at the top for the best. There is always demand when you're a category of one, when you are unique. One of the things that I really like to say to kids, though, is the world still needs great cowboys. There's a guy named Marre. He's a professional cowboy. He makes millions of dollars because he's the world's greatest cowboy. There is always room at the top. I don't care if there's going to be 100,000 jobs in a particular profession. You don't need 100,000 jobs. You only need one. And if the job and your design, that is your talents, traits, and interest, all are aligned, you will be great at that job. You should seek to be different, be original. You know, lots of times when I'm counseling young people, I say you need to think about unconventional job fit. In other words, I've worked for some of the largest accounting firms in the world doing consulting work. And you know who are the people leading those accounting firms? People with big personalities. People who can sell. People who are inspiring. It's not nerdy little people who solve problems and work on their computer all day. Those people with big outsized personalities hire the nerdy little people who work on their computers every day. Often the people who are most valued in Hollywood kinds of operations are people who are shy and nerdy and really good at detail and aren't really self-promoting and all that sort of thing. It's not so much that you need to find people that are just like you, it's to find out what interests you and then make that contribution no matter where it is. So right now you're in a job, you got a mortgage, and you got real life, real problems, real debts, real responsibilities, and you're not liking your job. Well, the first thing to do is to redesign how you approach your job. You may not be able to change anything about your job. You may not be able to go to your boss and negotiate a different kind of job or anything like that. It's just not realistic. But the question I ask people is, how are you expressing your traits and your talents in your job? How can you get that work done more excellently by doing what you're best at? Once you become aware of what your design is, you apply that no matter where you are. I don't care if you're a waiter, selling cars, working in a lab, whatever it is, the way you approach your work has to be through what your greatness is.
Stagnant wages, layoffs, soaring healthcare and fuel costs, a tidal wave of debt, corporate, political, and religious scandal. Is this really what America has become?
Is this the best we can do? We can do better, and we must.
Many American organizations, large and small, are thriving through innovation. Innovators don't imitate, they change the game. They stand for who they are and what they deeply value.
I get asked all the time, how can I be a clothing manufacturer in the United States? How can you compete against China? My competitors pay, 16 cents an hour in Vietnam or 14 cents an hour in China, and yet here I am very simply paying prevailing American wages, and we've been growing since day one.
In spite of labor costs 75 to 100 times that of his competition, Matt's company has experienced double-digit growth for the last 3 consecutive years.
One of the really nice aspects of staying domestic is that I continue to have an organization. I have relationships with our employees, and it is a community. At the end of the day, it's about people getting together to do things. And I find tremendous satisfaction in that. It's meaningful for me.
If you want to experience a workplace that is truly satisfying, our Promise package is for you. It includes What is Your Promise?, a 75-minute seminar in leadership that imparts key strategies for becoming global proof and describes how to create a workplace that is a hothouse of fresh ideas.
I want the economic power of this organization to have an impact on America. My family, they're all immigrants. They all started with nothing. How many places in the world can you start with nothing and you can really live a dream life?
America has a future as good as we can make it. It takes people like Matt, you, me, all of us to make new choices to get new results.
Start down the road to a dynamic, progressive, and fulfilling workplace. Order your Promise package today